Hello, and welcome back to yet another video. This is the fourth episode of a story in which 10-year-old Naruto meets Minato from future and that turns Naruto's life upside down. As Naruto lives a happy life in which he is trained by Minato and later Kushina too. After you've finished watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. To begin, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get the party started. The Hokage was not happy. He was expending the rest of the day dealing with the complaints of many villagers about Arashi Uzumaki. It looks like the blonde ex-Kage has been raiding all bars, liquor stores and all places that send alcohol in Konoha. He also bought all sushi, ramen, dango and other food stocks in Konoha. The storekeepers were of course very happy, but the plain citizens were left without these delights until the stocks in stores were refilled. He had to remind the civilians that there was not a law restricting the amount of food you could buy in peacetime. The Shinobis stopped complaining when he reminded them that alcohol was one of the banes of the ninjas. Somebody knocked the door. Enter Sasuke Uchiha got into the office. "Good evening Hokage-sama," said Sasuke. "Good evening Sasuke. How are you? Are you sleeping well? Are you still having nightmares?" asked concerned. Sarutobi was concerned for the Uchiha's mental health since his brother slayed all their clan. The info from the future that Minato brought about him only aggravated his fears. He should have a meeting with him to discuss the young Uchiha's future. "I had good sleeps for months. Until a week ago, when he appeared in the arena," said hiding his emotions. After years of dealing with the council and ninjas, the Hokage developed an ability to read gestures only matched by the Hyugas. Obviously seeing Itachi again could have thrown to the months of therapy. Sarutobi looked at the kid with a sympathetic smile and put a hand on his shoulder. "Sasuke. Don't worry. He will be punished for his crimes. Don't let your life be ruled by him. Move forward and live your life, it is what your parents would have desired," said. For a moment Sasuke was tempted to believe him, but it wouldn't bring back his family and his happiness back. He knew that revenge neither would do, but at least he wouldn't be haunted by the thought of the man who killed everything he loved wandering unpunished. He won't revive the clan until Itachi's death. The fear of losing again someone close to him at the hands of Itachi was too strong. That fear would make him weak and he wouldn't be able to defeat his brother. That's the reason he didn't make any new friends and moved away from the ones he had before that night. He was afraid of losing everything again. I understand Hokage-sama, but it is so hard to forget." Sarutobi changed the subject before things go worse. "By the way, Sasuke. Why do you want to see me?" asked smiling. Sasuke handed him the paper. "I'm going to have a fight with Naruto, but I must have your signature in this paper," said, pointing to the signature zone. The Hokage looked at the form, his face changed to amused to wide jaw open as he was reading it until his pipe fell. "Sasuke, I'm sorry but I can't sign this," said. "But why?" asked the Uchiha confused. "These are duel documents, they are used in fight-to-death fights for free the duelist of any responsibilities about the other duelist, that includes crippled limbs or even death," said, looking at them more carefully. Minato should have given them to Naruto after the Mizuki incident. Interesting, they only decline responsibility in Naruto's side, they even let Minato have an unpunished revenge if Naruto gets hurt, thought looking at the small lines. "I'm sorry Sasuke, but I won't sign this. As legal tutor of all Konoha orphans I can't let you risk your life in a duel. You are also the last one of your clan and your death would be terrible for the village, but I will. No. This is my last word. However, I will let you fight him in the mini-tournament of the Parents' Visit Day in a few weeks. Of course neither of you will be authorized to use lethal force. Now if you don't have any other request, please, leave me continue my work," said in a fatherly tone before resuming his fight with his worst enemy, paperwork. "I understand Hokage-sama. Thank you for your concern in letting me fight, have a nice day," said Sasuke, bowing to the Hokage and leaving. "See you soon, Sasuke," responded the Hokage without keeping out his eyes from the documents. However, while heading home Sasuke was plotting a plan to get the Hokage's sign in a fight against Naruto. An idea appeared soon in his brilliant Uchiha mind. With a smile he headed back to the Hokage tower. Minato and landed in a prairie in the outsides of Konoha. "What are we doing here, Dad? Weren't we supposed to meet a friend of yours?" asked Naruto. Minato looked amused at his son and removed his mask. "Yes, we came here because he is too big for being in Konoha," responded. Naruto was confused. "Too big for being in Konoha? Who is this man?" Minato loved to have his kid's attention. He was tempted to keep him tormented by doubt a bit more but chose to respond him. "He is the one who fought with us against the Kyuubi years ago," said in a tone that would fit in a ceremony master. Naruto was speechless looking. He is one of the most powerful summons in the world, leader of an army of powerful warrior, able to fight a Baijiu, the Toad boss. The powerful Gamabunta, said in a dramatic demeanor. Who? Minato fell to the ground. He reminded that they don't tell about summons in the academy, mostly because almost all students won't get a contract. When I reveal my identity, I'm going to make the council change the teaching program. I'll put a kunai on their necks if they don't cooperate, thought. He regained his composture and performed the jutsu. Kushios no Jutsu, shouted. The area was engulfed in a huge explosion of smoke, when it dispelled Minato and a surprised Naruto stood on the head of the biggest toad alive. Jiraiya. I told you to not summon me, roared. Where does this mountain come? And why is it speaking? Asked Naruto, confused to his parents' amusement. Before Minato could respond anything, they were grabbed by the toad. He looked at them in an intimidating tone. I don't know who you are and how you managed to summon me, but, he looked at them, especially at Minato. He put them in the ground, sniffed at Minato, rubbed his eyes, looked at them again. Minato? Is that you? Yes, I'm glad to see you again. Boss. How's your family? Asked Minato, smiling. They are pretty fine. A new batch of eggs is ready to open. Gamakashi and Gamatsu now can breathe air and... Wait. Why are you alive? And that kid? Is he who I think? Said, pointing at Naruto. Minato slapped his forehead. Sorry, I didn't introduce you properly. Gamabunta, this is my son Naruto. Naruto, this is Gamabunta, said. So you are Minato's tadpole. Glad to meet you, said, taking a puff from his pipe. Glad to meet you too, responded Naruto. Now I see why Dad didn't summon you in Konoha, said, shaking Gamabunta's finger with his hand. After finishing the introduction, Gamabunta looked at Minato. Well, Minato, can you explain me why are you alive? And why are you with that ridiculous outfit? That's not a ridiculous outfit. I designed it and Minato looks sexy with it, thought Kushina, undignified. Minato unwrapped a scroll and released all the food, sake and sweets he bought. It's a very long story. Why don't I tell you it while we have lunch? Asked, offering the huge toad a barrel of sake. The boss smiled. Unlike Jiraiya, Minato always treated his summonings with sake and sweets. Minato explained his story while they took good care of the food. Naruto discovered that there were other recipes almost as good as ramen. Kushina between them, smiling, hoping that someday she would join them in another picnic. Minato thought the same, taking a brief look at her. Minato finished his story. Gamabunta looked at his barrel of sake, thinking. Time travel, eh? Okay, I heard even more weird stories. There's something else you want to tell me? Yes, boss, I want Naruto to sign the Toad contract, if it's not a nuisance for you, of course, asked Minato. Are you going to teach me how to summon toads? Cool. Please boss, let me sign it. I'll treat the toads very well, asked Naruto, taking puppy dog eyes. Sorry kid, but Jiraiya is the one holding the contract. I'll tell the other toads to tell him to come back to Konoha and let you sign as soon as he summons one. He looked at Minato. Do you want them to tell him that you are back? No, thanks. I want to give him a surprise, responded the ex-Kage. One he will not enjoy, thought slyly. Naruto felt a bit depressed for having to wait for being able to summon. Thank you for your generosity, boss, said Minato, bowing. Naruto bowed too. Finally he is learning manners, thought Kushina. Gamabunta finished his barrel. It's nothing. I'm sorry, but I have to leave. I promised to teach Gamakashi how to play dice. I hope to see you again. Boss, said Minato. Me too. When I sign the contract you'll be the first toad I will summon, said Naruto, making them smile for the joke. Kushina also smiled, but it was because she knew that Gamabunta was in fact the first toad Naruto managed to summon in the future. I'll be waiting for that, you know. It's nice not being always summoned for a fight, said, disappearing in a poof of smoke. They looked at the food and the sake that was left. What should I do with this? I didn't expect him to left so early, and someone is coming, thought, putting back his mask. What's going on, Dad? Asked Naruto, concerned. We are going to have an unexpected guest, said, pointing at the grove near the prairie where they were. Seconds later a man emerged from the trees. Hello my other rival. I was looking for you to turn our 1-0 rate to a 1-1, said the green beast of Konoha, taking a fighting stance. Crap. Not again, thought Minato. It's the weird guy from the arena, thought Naruto. Minato sighed and took a fighting stance too. Wait, interrupted Naruto, it will be better if we have some audience, said, performing some hand signs. Demi Bunshin no Jutsu, shouted. A group of 10 clones with masks like Minato and another one of 10 ones with haircuts like Guy appeared. One team for cheer up each fighter. Well done, Naruto. Being able to perform this jutsu means that your chakra control improved a lot, but the clones are almost identical, almost them. We have to keep improving it, thought Minato. The flames of youth burn great in your son. And he has good taste in the looks of the clones, said Guy, looking at the ones with the same haircut as him. The Uzumaki family sweat dropped. The fight started. Minato managed to dodge a flying kick from Guy, who landed near a full sake barrel, sending it flying. Everyone looked the barrels flight until it landed into an academy student who was taking a run and had the bad luck to passing there at that time. The poor boy had half his body within the barrel. Minato and Guy rushed to free him. Half of the content of the barrel was probably now in the boy's stomach. The blonde shinobi found something familiar in the boy. Kushina recognized him. "It's Rock Lee. What are you looking at?" Lee stood before the two jonins, trying to keep balance. "Wait, young lad. Don't get up. After the amount of alcohol you took, it will be worse for you," shouted Guy, concerned. Arashi was looking at Kushina's explanations about the boy's identity. This is the one who will become Guy's mini-clone? And he also has the drunken fist gift. Known only for the previous Hokages, Minato's family was one of the most ancient and secretives. Like the ninjas clans from ancient times, they kept their existence in secret, making sure that only their lords were aware of their existence. They joined the Shadime's Konoha disguised as a civilian family after swearing fidelity to Konoha in their cage. Most of them worked as Anbu or keep a facade as average ninjas. They also changed their family name each generation, usually after marrying someone outside the clan. One of the most remarkable things about them was that they had the biggest archive about ninja knowledge, including secrets about bloodlines unknown even for the Hyugas. Minato reminded a time when he read a dusty document about the drunken fist gift. It was not bloodline because it didn't pass to the owner's children, but was almost as powerful as one. Usually people's reflexes and ability to fight were reduced when they were drunk. The drunken fist gift owners were increased exponentially. The most alcohol they had in their system, the stronger they get. They also had the particularity of getting drunk with only a minimum amount of alcohol and not developing any resistance to it. It was not confirmed in the document, but it also said that some of them were able to do things similar to ninjutsu. "Do you want to fight?" said Lee in a menacing tone to the jonins. Minato got an idea. "Guy and I don't want to fight you, but I want you to have a spar with my son, Naruto." "What? Are you serious? This boy is not able to keep in balance unless fight," said Guy, undignified. "He is right, Dad. I can't fight a weakened opponent," said Naruto. "What are you catting, geek?" said the angry Lee, attacking the blonde. Minutes before, in Konoha, Shikaku, Inoki, Kuza and the rest of the customers of their usual tavern were wandering in Konoha looking for a place to have a drink. Unfortunately, Arashi raided all taverns, taking all alcoholic drinks. Not satisfied with this, he also came to the stores and took all bottles with him. Obviously, Inoki and Shikaku were angry while Kuza was doing his best to keep them in line. He took them to his favorite restaurant. "Don't get too angy with him. Remember that he saved our lives years ago, losing an eye in the process." "What? I saw him in the arena and he had 2 functional eyes," said one of the customers. "He grew it back with his bloodline," said Shikaku. "I also heard of that bloodline," said a Hyuga. "It looks like that it makes him highly resistant to poisons. It could explain why he bought so much alcohol. He would need an insane amount of it for it taking effect." Everyone chatted among themselves after receiving that info. "Poor guy. We misjudged him. He only wanted to have a drink. We can't blame it." The waiter appeared. Kuza headed to him. "Good to see you. We wanned," tried to say before being interrupted. I'm very sorry, Aokimichi-sama, but this morning a man came and bought all our existences for takeaway. We won't have more food in 3 days," said trembling. Akamikis were known for being the most peaceful and kindest of all Konoha's clans unless somebody calls them fat or takes their food. Then they turn more vicious than even the Kagas. Kuza was unusually calm. "Tell me. That man was wearing black?" asked to the waiter. "Why, yes," responded the waiter, scared. "Did he hit a cloak and a hood?" said getting closer to the waiter. Why yes," said the waiter, more scared. "Did he had a mask with red whisker marks?" said getting more closer. "Yes," whispered the waiter, scared to the bone. "That's the last straw. He can take defeat me and take my drink, but no one takes my food," roared Kuza, rushing out of the store after the eldest Uzumaki. The others went after him. Perhaps they could save enough of Arashi to have him healed in the hospital after the incoming beating. Kakashi finished to beat that mad Chuunin again. He couldn't understand why he hated so much his books for exposing himself to a beating. The first time he was caught off guard and lost the book, The next ones he had to avoid the Chuunin's attacks until he got sick and fought back. He was aborted by a very angry Kuza. "You! Bring me where Arashi Uzumaki is with your tracker skills." Kakashi only saw Kuza angry when he was little. It took him years to stop having nightmares. Alright. Kushios no Jutsu, said summoning Pakun. They were soon joined by the rest of men. "We came to take the pieces to hospital," explained Shikaku. "Whose pieces?" asked Kakashi for himself amused. "Kakashi, I got his scent, he is outside of Konoha," said the little dog. Minutes later they arrived at a prairie where they found not only Arashi but also Guy and the alcohol and the food that caused the problem. They were watching a fight between Arashi's son and a boy who was a year older. There were also two groups of people they didn't know cheering for the boys. Kuza put a hand on Arashi's shoulder. "Hey you, we must talk," said. Arashi didn't take his eyes off the fight. "Can't we postpone it for later, after? Meanwhile, why don't you and your friends have a snack?" said, pointing at the food and barrels. Of course Kuza's point of view about Arashi changed from greedy bastard to generous partner. Same happened with the other men, who rushed at the free food and drink. Soon they were cheering at the boys and even making bets. Naruto was having real problems fighting against the drunken boy. He always managed to dodge his attacks in the last second. The most frustrating thing was that it looked that he did it while trying to keep balance. He also received many hits from the boy that were done while he tripped, avoiding one of his attacks. "Naruto, you are allowed to use ninjutsu," said his father. "Good, now I will show my power," thought with a smile. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," shouted, creating 20 clones. The crowd was impressed. The Kage Bunshin was a forbidden Jonin technique. Those few able to perform it were only able to create 4 or 5 without feeling exhausted. More bets were on Naruto's favor. They surrounded Lee. "Good, he took account of my advice and used them for reduce the space his opponent has for maneuver," thought Arashi. Unfortunately the strategy ended when they started to attack him at the same time. Lee dodged and countered their attacks. He also made 2 of them attacking each other by accident. Unfortunately they attack as individuals, not coordinating their attacks, thought Arashi, looking at the clones having their ass kicked. When all clones were dispelled, Naruto changed his strategy. "What about this? Kage Shuriken no Jutsu," shouted. Lee fell to the ground just as the same time the shurikens were about to hit him. The onlookers were impressed at the skills of the boys. "Are they really academy students?" asked one. "They fight like Shionins," commented other. "They are supposed to be the death lasts in their classes," said Shikaku. "Really? How strong are the best?" asked another. "I don't know, but I will take a look at the parents' visit day to find it out." Naruto tried more tricks but they didn't succeed. The Lee was covering his mouth with the hand. "Ain't going to puke. We can interrupt the combat until you feel better," said Naruto, tired. Blue. Lee exhaled a fireball the size of the house. Naruto used all the chakra he could for create a barrage of bunshines. The impact creamed all the clones and left a huge black spot in the prairie. Naruto was kneeling on the ground panting after the effort of creating so many clones and receiving the memories of them being burned. Lee fell to the ground asleep. Arashi helped Naruto to get up. An interesting gift, the drunken fist, thought, looking at the sleeping Lee who was being attended by Guy. He combined the alcohol he had left in his body with his chakra to create a superpowered Katen jutsu. "If Naruto hadn't created so many clones I would had to save him." Now that Lee doesn't have alcohol, he lost consciousness and is unable to fight. That's the main weakness of the gift. They headed to Guy and Lee. Now he will sleep like a log, he is not able to fight. Same happens with Naruto, who is out of chakra. "We can call this a draw," said. Some people complained about the outcome of the match but they accepted it. A drunk one started to sing and the rest joined him. More people from Konoha came and soon it turned into a party. Guy came carrying Lee. "I'm sorry but we must put off our match. I'm taking this boy to his home. The poor thing will have a colossal hangover when he wakes up," said Guy, concerned. "Don't worry about that. If what I heard about the drunken fist is true, he won't have hangovers or even diseases caused by excessive consume of alcohol," commented Arashi. Kushina got an idea and told it to her husband. "Arashi-san, what happens?" asked Guy, puzzled. "Oh, sorry. Did you say something, Guy?" Not knowing the implication of that phrase. "Argh. You too? Why my rivals have to be so cool?" shouted Guy. "He copied my phrase," pouted Kakashi with anime tears. Arashi ignored them and headed to Guy. "There are more things you should know about this boy," said, pointing at Lee. Minutes later Guy left happily the prairie, dragging a still sleeping Lee. Arashi saw that Naruto was a bit depressed. He didn't touch his food. "What's going on, son?" "Are you alright?" asked concerned. "I'm sorry Dad," apologized his son. "Sorry for what?" "For not winning the match, I couldn't even hit him." "You must be ashamed of me," said. Arashi put his hands on Naruto's shoulders and smiled at him. "I'm not ashamed of you. You didn't lost the fight and you made a very good match. Look, everyone is talking about it," said, pointing at the ones who saw the fight. Naruto felt a little better after hearing some comments. "Also," continued Arashi, "you must take account that you fought an exceptional adversary in exceptional circumstances." "What do you mean, Towson?" Arashi explained him about Lee and the drunken fist, his advantages and drawbacks. When he finished, Naruto had regained his usual cheerful mood. Kushina couldn't prevent to feel a little envious with Minato for being able to cheer Naruto, but their son's smile banished the feeling. "I can't wait for my next match against Lee. That time I will manage to hit him," claimed. "You'll have your chance in the parents' visit day in a few weeks, son. Perhaps at that time you will be able to perform the jutsu I will start to teach you tomorrow." Lee stood before the two Jonins, trying to keep balance. "Wait, young lad. Don't get up. After the amount of alcohol you took, it will be worse for you," shouted Guy, concerned. Arashi was looking at Kushina's explanations about the boy's identity. This is the one who will become Guy's mini-clone? And he also has the drunken fist gift. Known only for the previous Hokages, Minato's family was one of the most ancient and secretives. Like the ninjas clans from ancient times, they kept their existence in secret, making sure that only their lords were aware of their existence. They joined the Shodime's Konoha disguised as a civilian family after swearing fidelity to Konoha in their cage. Most of them worked as Anbu or keep a facade as average ninjas. They also changed their family name each generation, usually after marrying someone outside the clan. One of the most remarkable things about them was that they had the biggest archive about ninja knowledge, including secrets about bloodlines unknown even for the Hyugas. Minato reminded a time when he read a dusty document about the drunken fist gift. It was not bloodline because it didn't pass to the owner's children, but was almost as powerful as one. Usually people's reflexes and ability to fight were reduced when they were drunk. The drunken fist gift owners were increased exponentially. The most alcohol they had in their system, the stronger they get. They also had the particularity of getting drunk with only a minimum amount of alcohol and not developing any resistance to it. It was not confirmed in the document, but it also said that some of them were able to do things similar to ninjutsu. "Do you want to fight?" said Lee in a menacing tone to the Jonins. Minato got an idea. "Guy and I don't want to fight you, but I want you to have a spar with my son." "Naruto, what? Are you serious? This boy is not able to keep in balance unless fight," said Guy, undignified. "He is right, Dad. I can't fight a weakened opponent," said Naruto. "Wuade, you catting geek?" said the angry Lee, attacking the blonde. Minutes before, in Konoha, Shikaku, Inoiki, Kuza and the rest of the customers of their usual tavern were wandering in Konoha looking for a place to have a drink. Unfortunately, Arashi raided all taverns, taking all alcoholic drinks. Not satisfied with this, he also came to the stores and took all bottles with him. Obviously, Inoiki and Shikaku were angry while Kuza was doing his best to keep them in line. He took them to his favorite restaurant. "Don't get too angy with him. Remember that he saved our lives years ago, losing an eye in the process." "What? I saw him in the arena and he had 2 functional eyes," said one of the customers. "He grew it back with his bloodline," said Shikaku. "I also heard of that bloodline," said a Hyuga. "It looks like that it makes him highly resistant to poisons. It could explain why he bought so much alcohol. He would need an insane amount of it for it taking effect." Everyone chatted among themselves after receiving that info. "Poor guy. We misjudged him. He only wanted to have a drink. We can't blame it." The waiter appeared. Kuza headed to him. "Good to see you. We wanned," tried to say before being interrupted. I'm very sorry, Aokimichi-sama, but this morning a man came and bought all our existences for takeaway. We won't have more food in 3 days," said trembling. Akamikis were known for being the most peaceful and kindest of all Konoha's clans unless somebody calls them fat or takes their food. Then they turn more vicious than even the Kagas. Kuza was unusually calm. "Tell me. That man was wearing black?" asked to the waiter. "Why, yes," responded the waiter, scared. "Did he hit a cloak and a hood?" said, getting closer to the waiter. "Why yes," said the waiter, more scared. "Did he had a mask with red whisker marks?" said, getting more closer. "Yes," whispered the waiter, scared to the bone. "That's the last straw. He can take defeat me and take my drink, but no one takes my food," roared Kuza, rushing out of the store after the eldest Uzumaki. The others went after him. Perhaps they could save enough of Arashi to have him healed in the hospital after the incoming beating. Kakashi finished to beat that mad Chuunin, again. He couldn't understand why he hated so much his books for exposing himself to a beating. The first time he was caught off guard and lost the book, the next ones he had to avoid the Chuunin's attacks until he got sick and fought back. He was aborted by a very angry Kuza. "You bring me where Arashi Uzumaki is with your tracker skills." Kakashi only saw Kuza angry when he was little. It took him years to stop having nightmares. Alright. Kushios no Jutsu, said summoning Pakun. They were soon joined by the rest of men. "We came to take the pieces to hospital," explained Shikaku. "Whose pieces?" asked Kakashi for himself amused. "Kakashi, I got his scent, he is outside of Konoha," said the little dog. Minutes later they arrived at a prairie where they found not only Arashi but also Guy and the alcohol and the food that caused the problem. They were watching a fight between Arashi's son and a boy who was a year older. There were also two groups of people they didn't know cheering for the boys. Kuza put a hand on Arashi's shoulder. "Hey you, we must talk," said. Arashi didn't take his eyes off the fight. "Can't we postpone it for later, after? Meanwhile, why don't you and your friends have a snack?" said, pointing at the food and barrels. Of course Kuza's point of view about Arashi changed from greedy bastard to generous partner. Same happened with the other men, who rushed at the free food and drink. Soon they were cheering at the boys and even making bets. Naruto was having real problems fighting against the drunken boy. He always managed to dodge his attacks in the last second. The most frustrating thing was that it looked that he did it while trying to keep balance. He also received many hits from the boy that were done while he tripped, avoiding one of his attacks. "Naruto, you are allowed to use ninjutsu," said his father. "Good, now I will show my power," thought with a smile. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," shouted, creating 20 clones. The crowd was impressed. The Kage Bunshin was a forbidden Jonin technique. Those few able to perform it were only able to create 4 or 5 without feeling exhausted. More bets were on Naruto's favor. They surrounded Lee. "Good, he took account of my advice and used them for reduce the space his opponent has for maneuver," thought Arashi. Unfortunately the strategy ended when they started to attack him at the same time. Lee dodged and countered their attacks. He also made 2 of them attacking each other by accident. Unfortunately they attack as individuals, not coordinating their attacks, thought Arashi looking at the clones having their ass kicked. When all clones were dispelled Naruto changed his strategy. "What about this? Kage Shuriken no Jutsu," shouted. Lee fell to the ground just as the same time the shurikens were about to hit him. The onlookers were impressed at the skills of the boys. "Are they really academy students?" asked one. "They fight like Shunins," commented other. "They are supposed to be the death lasts in their classes," said Shikaku. "Really? How strong are the best?" asked another. "I don't know, but I will take a look at the parents' visit day to find it out." Naruto tried more tricks but they didn't succeed. The Lee was covering his mouth with the hand. "Ain't going to puke. We can interrupt the combat until you feel better," said Naruto tired. "Blur." Lee exhaled a fireball the size of the house. Naruto used all the chakra he could for create a barrage of bunshines. The impact creamed all the clones and left a huge black spot in the prairie. Naruto was kneeling on the ground panting after the effort of creating so many clones and receiving the memories of them being burned. Lee fell to the ground asleep. Arashi helped Naruto to get up. An interesting gift, the drunken fist, thought looking at the sleeping Lee who was being attended by Guy. He combined the alcohol he had left in his body with his chakra to create a superpowered Katen jutsu. "If Naruto hadn't created so many clones I would had to save him." Now that Lee doesn't have alcohol he lost consciousness and is unable to fight. That's the main weakness of the gift. They headed to Guy and Lee. Now he will sleep like a log, he is not able to fight. Same happens with Naruto who is out of chakra. "We can call this a draw," said. Some people complained about the outcome of the match but they accepted it. A drunk one started to sing and the rest joined him. More people from Konoha came and soon it turned into a party. Guy came carrying Lee. "I'm sorry but we must put off our match. I'm taking this boy to his home, the poor thing will have a colossal hangover when he wakes up," said Guy concerned. "Don't worry about that. If what I heard about the drunken fist is true he won't have hangovers or even diseases caused by excessive consume of alcohol," commented Arashi. Kushina got an idea and told it to her husband. "Arashi-san, what happens?" asked Guy puzzled. "Oh, sorry. Did you say something, Guy?" Not knowing the implication of that phrase. "Argh. You too? Why my rivals have to be so cool?" shouted Guy. "He copied my phrase," pouted Kakashi with anime tears. Arashi ignored them and headed to Guy. "Guy, there are more things you should know about this boy," said pointing at Lee. Minutes later, Guy left happily the prairie dragging a still sleeping Lee. Arashi saw that Naruto was a bit depressed. He didn't touch his food. "What's going on, son? Are you alright?" asked concerned. "I'm sorry, Dad," apologized his son. "Sorry for what?" "For not winning the match. I couldn't even hit him." "You must be ashamed of me," said. Arashi put his hands on Naruto's shoulders and smiled at him. "I'm not ashamed of you. You didn't lose the fight and you made a very good match. Look, everyone is talking about it," said, pointing at the ones who saw the fight. Naruto felt a little better after hearing some comments. "Also," continued Arashi, "you must take account that you fought an exceptional adversary in exceptional circumstances." "What do you mean, Towson?" Arashi explained him about Lee and the drunken fist, his advantages and drawbacks. When he finished, Naruto had regained his usual cheerful mood. Kushina couldn't prevent to feel a little envious with Minato for being able to cheer Naruto, but their son's smile banished the feeling. "I can't wait for my next match against Lee. That time I will manage to hit him," claimed. "You'll have your chance in the parents' visit day in a few weeks, son. Perhaps at that time you will be able to perform the jutsu I will start to teach you tomorrow." It's a 3-step training. He gave a leaf to everyone. This is the first one. Arashi put a leaf on his palm. The leaf started to float over Arashi's hand and rise quickly until it reached 20 meters, at the height of one of the branches of the tree that was near them. He let the leaf fall. "Now I will repeat the step. This time you will see it with your Byakugan active and you will describe what you see," said, heading to the Hyugas. The leaf rised again, this time at higher speed. It reached again the branch. "Okay, what have you seen?" asked to the Hyugas. "It looked like a chakra line flowing from your palm," said Neji. "I had raised the leaf you until it reached the branch," continued Hinata. "That's correct," agreed Arashi. "You three will rise the leaf until it reacts the branch. I won't teach you the second step until you three are able to perform this one." Hinata felt demoralized. "I will hold back Naruto and Neji," thought. Arashi realized Hinata's thoughts. "I think that Hinata will be the first one to perform this step. Her chakra control is very refined," said to their surprise. He reminded the jutsu that the future Hinata developed, the Shugo Haki Raku Huyanshao, and the similarity it had with the first step. He continued talking. "I didn't memorize the name of the jutsu, I wrote it looking at a guide. Naruto has more probabilities to perform the second step while Neji will the first one to do the third step and mastering the jutsu." Finished. Arashi's words cheered Hinata as expected. "I won't be the first one to do the first and second step? Well, at least I'll be the first one mastering the jutsu," thought Neji. Arashi used a marker to draw a spot in their palms. "It will help you to do it easier. Make your chakra flow only from the spot. Now begin," ordered. "Hi," responded them. The three kids started to focus chakra in the spot for Rise the Leaf. As predicted by Arashi, Hinata was the one who performed it better, managing to rise the leaf 3 meters on her first try. Naruto was unable to rise the leaf more than 50 centimeters before it strayed on its way. Naruto was tempted to use his cage bunshine trick, but they were busy studying and training and his father forbid him to use them for learning this jutsu. At the end of the day, Hinata finally performed the exercise while Neji reached 10 meters and Naruto 5 meters. "Come back here tomorrow by 8 o'clock. I told Iruka about this training and won't take account of your absence. He will tell your family that you were training together after class." "That is not a lie, we are only changing the subject of the class and where it takes place," said Arashi while saying goodbye. Next day, Neji and Naruto continued their training while Hinata gave Naruto some tips while using her Byakugan for watch the chakra line that Naruto generated. "And make it thinner. And keep yourself relaxed, it makes it easier." "Thank you, Hinata-chan. It thought I developed a good chakra control, but yours is amazing," said him. It's nothing. We Hyugas are trained in chakra control since we are able to walk," responded blushing. At the end of the day, Neji was able to do the first step while Naruto reached 15 meters. "Good," said Arashi. "I bet that Naruto will be able to do the first step tomorrow and we will start with the second step on the third day." Naruto finally managed to do the first step after the first hour of trying. Arashi unsealed a box from a scroll. "Now that the first step is mastered, we will start with the second step." He unwrapped the box and gave each other 3 thick rubber gloves. "As you see, I gave each of you 3 rubber gloves for the same hand. You must wear them at the same time, one over each other," said Arashi, overimposing the gloves on his hand. The kids followed his instructions a little stranged. Arashi continued, "This is the second step." They saw how a bulge appeared in Arashi's palm until the overimposed gloves exploded in that part. "You must explode the palm of the rubber gloves, this step harder than the first one. It depends more from the power you apply to the chakra in your palm than from your chakra control. As I said, I think that Naruto has more chances to do it first. I warn you 3, this step is much harder than the first one and there's the risk of ending with chakra burns in the palm at the end of the day. Don't overextend yourselves, said. The students spend the rest of the day trying to explode the palm of the gloves. Naruto half expected to be able to it before the end of the journey like Hinata did, but failed miserably. However, he managed to make the biggest bulge on his gloves while Neji was second and Hinata third. Next day they continued the training. At noon Naruto almost made it while Neji and Hinata also made a great progress. They'll master it before as I expected, thought Arashi while tasting the food Hinata brought. Note to myself, visit Naruto and Hinata when they marry at least once a week. She cooks really well at sunset. Naruto finally made the rubber gloves explode. Yes. I made it. One step more to master it, shouted happily. See, congratulations, Naruto-kun, congratulated Hinata. Humph. Well done, said Neji a little annoyed for not being again the first one to do a step. And Naruto-kun, what's wrong? Asked Hinata concerned at the strange look Naruto had in his eyes. The blonde fell to the ground, dragging her with him. The confused girl was paralyzed. Naruto. It's too soon for that part, thought Kushina amused. What are you doing to my cousin? Shouted Neji in his newfound big brother mode. He fainted from exhaustion, said Arashi. I told him to not overextend himself. It looks like she also fainted. She also put a great effort in the training. You should take her home. We will continue the training tomorrow. Arashi moved Naruto away and Neji took his cousin back home. The genius was already figuring out the real reason why his cousin fainted. Next day, the fifth one, the Hyugas continued while Naruto recreated the steps with his left hand. At noon Neji finally made his gloves explode. Father, soon I'll be able to do your jutsu, thought. He proceeded to recreate the steps with his left hand while Hinata kept trying to perform it. I hope I will be able to do it tomorrow, thought her later while heading home. On the sixth day's noon she still didn't manage to do it. She lost her appetite because the depression. Now they are probably seeing me as the failure I am, thought. However, Naruto was hoping that the training with the Hyugas would last more days so he could have to eat more of Hinata's food. Neji was meditating about the jutsu deducting the third step. Arashi was looking at Kushina told him. Hinata, can you show me your palms? Asked the ex-gage. The girl reluctantly nodded and showed it. She had chakra burns. I see, with that burns you shouldn't keep trying until you are healed. In fact, I'm surprised you almost made it with that wounds. You can be as stubborn as Naruto, said. There's nothing bad in being stubborn. We can overcome anything, said Naruto in a serious tone. Yes, you are right, but you must learn when to postpone your objective until you are prepared to face it again, responded his father. Seeing how Naruto supported her, Hinata felt relieved and vowed to do the step as soon as she was healed. By Kushina's suggestion, Arashi gave a box containing his secret medicine to Naruto. Apply this to Hinata's hands, it will heal her hands faster. By evening she will be able to do it again, said. Naruto proceeded to heal Hinata to her embarrassment and Neji's amusement, who already figured out his cousin's crush. And Naruto-kun, I is touching my hands. Don't faint, he is not doing in a romantic way, thought. Arashi spent the next hours talking with Neji about his father and the adventures they had together, changing the scenario and the time. He wouldn't tell him yet that they became friends in the afterlife. Naruto spent the hours talking with Hinata about trivalities and how cool they will look with the chakra rays. At evening Hinata found that her hands were completely healed and resumed her training. Sensei, asked Naruto, why we didn't perform this step with only one glove and when we made it, repeat it with 2 gloves and later with 3. It should be easier. Neji agreed with him. Arashi slapped his forehead. I never thought about that. I can't believe such detail would make it easier to learn. Hinata performed the exercise with only 1 glove, exploding it. An hour later she managed to explode 2 gloves and, finally, at the end of the day she managed to destroy the gloves. I must say that I'm impressed with you 3. Tomorrow we will start with the last step. It is the most difficult part of the jutsu. It will take more time than the other ones, so don't be concerned if it will take you some days to do it, said Arashi. Next day he took them to a field with training dummies. Anybody guessed what is the third part? Asked to his students. I think that we must combine the first 2 steps to create the chakra ray. The first step determines the ray and its reach while the second one determines its power, said Neji. He is really a genius. I thought Hisashi exaggerated when he told me about Neji, thought Arashi. You are correct, Neji. You 3 will have to unify the 2 steps in a quick move, releasing your chakra in the form of a chakra beam. It's harder than it looks, Remember to rest when you feel you need it, you are learning an A-class jutsu after all, said. Hi, nodded his students. As he thought none of them was able to do it at the end of the day. Next day, the 8th, they kept failing until sunset when Neji finally mastered the jutsu. Hisashi shouted while generating a ray that pierced a dummy's head. Father, finally I made it, I got the jutsu you left for me, thought with a smile. Congratulations, Nisan, said Hinata. It was impressive, Neji, I'm lucky you don't want to be Hokage, said Naruto. Well done, Neji. Your father would have been really proud of you, said Arashi. Thank you Hinata-sama, thank you Naruto-san. And specially thanks to you, Arashi-san. You could have kept the jutsu for yourself but you chose to share it with me and my cousin, said bowing. It's nothing, you can prove your appreciation helping Naruto and Hinata mastering the jutsu in next days, said Arashi. It will be a pleasure. 2 days later Naruto and Hinata finally managed to perform the jutsu. Yes. A step more to Hokage. Wait until the team looks this, shouted Naruto. Another thing I share with Naruto. I wonder how father will react when he sees me doing this jutsu. Congratulations you three, you learned it a week earlier than I expected. Now you can train with the first step to give it more reach and the second one to give it more power as you wish. This way each one of you will develop your own version of the attack, said Arashi. He gave them some papers. I'm going to give you a special present for mastering the jutsu so early, but first, channel some chakra into the papers. Naruto, Sai and Sakura appear in a TV studio. Sakura talks to the screen with a microphone. Sakura, ladies, gentlemen. Here's a new chapter of one of best Naruto fics. Naruto, excited, which one? Chuunin exam day? Sai, no. Sakura, Naruto Arashidori? Sai, no, this one not. Naruto, I know, the Fox Knight. Sai, sorry but not. Sakura, with stars in the eyes, the fortune of Mrs. Sakura? Sai, no. Naruto, the courtship of Naruto Uzumaki. Sai, no. It is one where I appear before the time skip. Sakura, I don't know. Sai, it's that incredible bad written fic made by that Spaniard who had the unoriginal idea of doing another time travel fic, instead of leaving things like they are. The author, get him, boys. Minato, Asuma, the Sun Daime, Hayate and many people who didn't die yet appear, surrounding Sai. Asuma, lighting a cancer stick, what's going on? You want us death? Sai, WL. San Daime, do you know what is to end dying in most fics? I can count with my fingers those where I'm still alive. Sai, still with his poker face, Hokage-sama. Hayate, cough, cough, cough. Why I'm placed again with that bearded Kamaini. Sakura and Naruto head to the screen, while the others surround Sai closer. Both of them, ladies, gentlemen, sorry for the interruption, here comes the chapter. After some tries to contact Arashi Uzumaki, Shikamaru and Shino decided to approach him through the Hokage. They knew that their leader knew the true about the Uzumaki man's identity, but they were not sure if the Yondaime told the Sun Daime that he came from the future or another thing like the official version of him coming back after recovering from amnesia. At first they thought that they could contact him through Naruto, but they rejected the idea because they didn't know if Naruto knew about his father's cause of coming back, the Kyuubi, or his father's true identity. They had to wait for days for an appointment with the Hokage because the old man had an extremely busy agenda. Finally, a week before the parents' day they had the chance to talk to him. Troublesome. Naruto is always saying that he comes to see the Hokage whenever he likes, but it took us days to get a 10 minutes appointment, complained Shikamaru. Remember that we are no longer promising Chuunin's ready to take the Jonin exams, Shikamaru. We are again Academy students. In other village there wouldn't be any way for kids to get this appointment. Naruto is a special case and can see the Hokage whenever he likes, said Shino. Yeah. And he kept doing it with Tsunade. If we look at in the bright side, he will think that being accessible as a Hokage requirement. It will useful when he gets the charge, said Shikamaru. I can't believe that we are talking about Naruto as a future Hokage, commented Shino. Me neither. When he came back from the trip with Jiraiya he already had the level of an expert Chuunin, and then he made those intense trainings that put him on Kage level. I don't know how powerful will he become with his father training him now. How are you adapting to being in the past again? Said Shikamaru, changing the subject. I'm doing a great progress with my bugs. When we came back the collective mind of my swarm also came with me. It had a problem adapting itself to less a numerous swarm because my smaller body. I also had to make my bugs adapt to my bigger chakra reserves, said the Aburame. Shikamaru nodded. In their second attempt in the Chuunin exam, Zeno lost to Shino in the third part. Later the bossy blonde told him that Aburames had two minds. The first one was their own mind, the second one was a collective one, result of the union of their bugs. The more trained they had that mind, the best they could do the Aburames jutsus. She said that the truth was that the Aburames were very talkative, but they spend most of their time coping with the collective mind of their swarm. What I really meant was how we're feeling to be back at the academy and being a kid again, said Shikamaru. It's a little annoying having to listen the same classes again. I also have to take effort to keep average records. Being taught by someone who is weaker than you doesn't help neither, said Shino, referring to the teachers. Curiously, I found that Iruka is now much stronger than he should be. You realized it too, eh? Probably Namikaze's doing. I have the advantage of being among the last ones of class, so I only have to do almost nothing. Look, the door is opening, it's our turn, said Shikamaru. He was not the eldest Sarutobi, he was one of his sons. Sarutobi Asuma, Shikamaru's future sensei, death in the timeline where they came from. Shikamaru was shocked. He reminded his sensei's death fighting Hidan, the funeral, Kurenai's sadness. He already knew that he would see him again alive in this timeline. But knowing that was not the same than seeing again a precious person you thought death forever. Asuma left the reception without taking a second look, so he didn't notice the effect he caused in the pineapple-headed boy's sensei, babbled while trembling and his heart menacing to get out from his chest. The Hokage got out from his office to receive them. You must be Shino and Shikamaru. I'm curious to know why some youngsters like you want to see me and what's going on. Are you alright, kid? Asked the son daime worried. No, he is not, responded Shino. Moments ago he saw somebody he didn't expect to see too soon. He is in shock, we must take him to the hospital. You are right, I'll tell the Anbu to take him there and call his parents, said the Hokage. Thank you, Hokage-sama. Can I ask you a favor? Said. This is not best moment to talk about the reason you came to see me, responded Sarutobi. It's not that. I would like you to ask our friends to visit him. Especially Naruto. Shikamaru said that he didn't introduce his father to us yet. Later that afternoon Naruto and his father were on his way to Ichiraku's for eat. After that, they would go to the hospital to visit Shikamaru. Son, do you know what happens today? Asked Arashi. Yes, we will go to see Shikamaru and I will introduce you to my other friends. I wonder if they would imagine who you are in reality, said Naruto. True, but I'm not talking about that. Today has been a month since we reunited again, said Arashi. Naruto's cheery grin changed into a more serious smile, slightly sad. A month? It's hard to believe how many things happened, said. Arashi and Kushina now had all their attention focused in Naruto. This was one of the rare times when he dropped his happiness and talked completely serious. Dad, I still can't believe that I have you back. Or who you are. These have been the best days of my life. Many things happened. I discovered who was Mom. Kushina smiled. How powerful you are. I didn't show my most powerful techniques. I can't wait to teach them to you, son, thought Minato, smiling under his mask. Why the villagers dislike me. Minato felt again guilty. Our cool blood limit. Now people look at me in a different way. Blood limits are overrated in this village. Ninjas should be judged by their skill, thought Minato. I got new friends. Hinata-chan, sigh. And Shino in last days, thought Kushina. Now when I wake up and see you I must remind me that I'm not dreaming. Same goes for me, my kid, said his father, hugging him. Only one more thing will turn this dream into a paradise. I'm near to know the means, thought, looking at Kushina. She looked at them happily. Since Minato came back there was almost no day without a hug between them. Naruto almost didn't have human contact all these years and he surely needed them. They broke the embrace. And you train me? Now I will be the first of my class after defeating the team, proclaimed, coming back to his normal self. Don't become obsessed with Sasuke, Naruto. Remember what I told you about you and him in the future? Said Minato, concerned. Yeah. But you said that you had a plan for make him not leave the village. We shouldn't worry about that, responded Naruto. Plans not always go as planned, son, said his father. If he tries to leave I'll stop him. I'll be much stronger than my future self that time, said Naruto. For a moment Minato didn't say anything. Then he decided to change the subject. We'll deal with that problem when the time comes. Why don't we go to Ichiraku's to celebrate the month? We'll skip the special diet and you will eat all what you like, said, unaware of the threat he was unleashing to his purse. Later, after a poor Arashi and a richer Tucci, in the hospital Naruto and Arashi got into the room where Shikamaru was checked. At that time the only people there were Shino and Shikamaru himself. Shikamaru had a bandage covering a bump on his head. "Hello Shikamaru, hello Shino," greeted a very satisfied Naruto. He noticed Shikamaru's injuries. "This is the reason because you are here?" said, pointing at the bump. "No, it was done by my mom. Sai brought me a portrait of myself he made in class," said Shikamaru, annoyed. "And?" asked Naruto. "He appeared sleeping. His mother didn't take it well and disciplined him," said Shino. It made Naruto and Kushina roll on the floor laughing. When they finished, Naruto got up and introduced his father to his friends. "Dad, these are Shikamaru and Shino." "Shino, Shikamaru, this is my father Arashi," Uzumaki said. "Glad to meet you both," greeted Arashi with handshakes. "It's a pleasure to meet you," said Shino. "Same for me. Sorry if I don't get up," said Shikamaru. "Naruto, why don't you go for some drinks while I have a chat with your friends?" asked to his son. "Okay Dad. I'll come back soon," responded Naruto, leaving the place. As soon as Naruto left the room, Minato locked the door and took off his mask. "Seeing your absence of surprise, I can assume that you came from the same place as me," said the ex-Hokage. "Yes, Hokage-sama. But, unlike you, we only took our minds to this time." "How did you realize that?" asked Shikamaru. 1. Don't call me Hokage-sama. I renounced to that position. 2. Shino was not part of Naruto's group of friends until the graduation. 3. Shikamaru in shock after passing with an alive Asuma? It was very obvious, said the Hokage. And 4. Kushina came also from the future, so I assumed the possibilities of more people coming back, thought. Good deduction, Namikaze-sama. This can mean that the others could have come back too, said Shino. Yes, there's a good chance for that. I bet we'll know about them soon, said Minato. Shikamaru will be very happy if this happens, although he won't admit it, thought Kushina in a mischievous way. We are sorry for not contacting you sooner, Namikaze-sama. We couldn't ask Naruto because we didn't know what you explained to him, excused Shikamaru. You made the right choice. You must know that I told Naruto everything, who I am, that I came from the future, the fox, the invasion, Akatsuki, Sasuke's betrayal, and who is our true enemy, said Minato. How did he take it? Asked Shikamaru. Pretty well. He says that our enemies won't last longer than a stake in front of Kiba's house, said, chuckling. Typical from Naruto, said Shikamaru, smiling. How many people know your true story, sir? The Hokage, Kakashi, Tenzo, Ebisu, Iruka, Pucci from Ichiraku's and Hinata, responded Minato. Shino finally showed surprise. Hinata? How? Asked. Minato told them the story when he told Naruto about the Kyuubi and how Hinata intervened. I see, said Shino. I hope he realizes her feelings sooner. Yes, I hope the same. Did you made some plans for the incoming events? Asked Minato. The two young men were pleased to finally have somebody who talked with them as the ninjas they were in reality and knew their true situation. We had some in store. We should compare them with yours and decide what to do, said Shino. For example, what to do with Sasuke, proposed Shikamaru. I already have a plan concerning the Uchiha, said Minato. We will talk about the plans with the Hokage. There's a mission that will fit you perfectly. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of Konohamaru, Madara got into the city disguised as traitor with a plan. A plan aimed to the new Uzumaki clan. Later that night, at Sasuke's apartment, somebody got into Sasuke's home and headed to his room. As soon as the person was in, a plank in the floor not repaired on purpose made a noise that woke up the last Uchiha, who took the kunai under his pillow ready to surprise the intruder. However, he was the surprised one when he saw his unwanted guest. Not bad, Sasuke. You have potential, said the masked man with a single Sharingan eye. Next chapter, the parents' visit day. Omake, more consequences of Akunoichi's revenge. Arashi headed to the mission assignment room. He promised the Hokage doing for the next week any mission he requested as compensation for giving him free days for teach Naruto and the Hyugas the Hizashi. Probably more flying trips for nobles and wealthy people, thought with a sigh. At least they are ranked as A-class missions, so not many people can afford them. And the money is the money, I can't complain. He landed near the office to see a big line of customers waiting for their turn. Most of them were women looking at him in a lecherous way. What's going on with Konoha women? They are behaving like Jiraiya near a bathhouse. And why there are many of them? Kushina also wanted the response. When she was alive and they finally became a couple, she had to keep other women away from her Min-kun. Things only turned worse when he became the hero of the ninja war and they pretended breaking their relationship for her safety. Months later, when she already pregnant with Naruto, He created the Arashi Kazama identity and they finally married. Because Arashi Kazama was almost unknown, she didn't have to worry about bitches around her man. Until today. Minato headed to the desk where the Hokage was assigning missions. The old man was again with Koharu and Homura, obviously waiting for him. They have the same look when they assigned me that stupid missions, thought with a frown. Good morning, Arashi-san greeted Sarutobi smiling. Ready for some missions? Asked smiling. Good morning Hokage-sama, Koharu-sama, Homura-sama. Please tell me. Are all these ladies here for a flying ride mission? Asked Arashi, praying that his suspicions were wrong. As sharp as always, Arashi. Yes, they want a flying ride, however this time you won't have to disguise yourself as a winged horse, you will have to grab them in your current form, said the Hokage smiling. Arashi and Kushina realized the women's intentions, for take flying somebody in his usual form he should hold that person close to him during all the flight, he will have to embrace that horny women during the flights. Arashi looked horrified at Kushina's face. It looks could kill, she would have sent that women to hell 3 times each one. But taking somebody flying is an A-class mission. I doubt they could afford something so expensive, protested. Homura took the word. You are wrong Arashi-san, taking somebody flying in a winged horse form is an A-class mission. Taking somebody flying in human form has been labeled as a B-class mission. A luxury, but still affordable for fire countries mid-high class, said the glassed man looking at his calculator. But, tried to say before Koharu interrupted. Arashi-san, we discovered that the benefits of labeling that missions as B will be twice than labeling them as A. You must understand that Konoha has to take advantage of it until this fashion about flying rides expires. We are planning to destine more money the orphans fund and your work will be crucial for that, said the old lady in a reasonable tone. Kushina sighed. The Orphans Fund was the institution which financed Naruto's upbringing all these years. It paid the Junon teams who babysitted him when he was little, his academy enrollment, and also gave him his monthly allowance. Unlike other villages, Konoha didn't have an orphanage. Orphans who were not adopted were given a house and babysitted by Junon teams who taught them how to care for themselves. When they were old enough, the orphans were enrolled in the academy for receive ninja training. Kushina told her husband to agree with sign language. She also was supported by the fund when she arrived in Konoha. However, she vowed to find the cause why all single women were not after her Minato, and put an end to it. Reluctantly Arashi agreed to do the missions. His first customer was a woman in her last 20s who obviously was flirting, pretending to be shy. It's my first flight. Please be gentle. Hi, said while she embraced Arashi, brushing on him the most possible. Any other man would be extremely willing to do the mission. The woman was a true beauty. However, they wouldn't have a jealous ghost wife staring at them with a look that promises murder and pain. What are you insinuating, bitch? This is only a flight. And don't touch him there. I'm the only who can do that, thought the red-headed ghost. Arashi initialized the flight and left the office. Lucky bastard, thought the other ninjas. You don't like being a man object, Minato? Well, I don't care. It serves you right for not taking back the Hokage seat and leaving me with that paperwork, thought the Hokage with a sadistic smile. Hey, don't put that face, he trained at Orochimaru. I never thought he would be so shy, commented Koharu. Yeah, perhaps that's the reason why he wears that mask, agreed Homura. Perhaps we should have told him about the pics where he appears sparring with his son, continued the Homura. No, he would try to stop their circulation and we would lose a good advertisement for Konoha, said Koharu. You are right. I think that the Uzumakis will prefer to be seen as desire objects instead of hate ones. By the way, tomorrow we will send 200 of copies through all elemental countries, agreed the old man. Perfect, we should celebrate. Where shall we do it this time? Said Koharu in a mischievous way. That couch looks very comfortable, responded Homura smiling. Arashi spent all day doing the missions. His only consolation was that this type of missions were only once a week. Meanwhile, Kushina discovered the existence of the photos of Minato and Naruto. Almost half of single women had copies. The most bizarre case were Sakura and Ino. Both of them had a new poster-size pic of Naruto, with a Sasuke portrait over his face. It has been a week since Minato made contact with Shikamaru and Shino. They informed the Hokage and the others who knew Minato's true identity about their condition of time travelers. Of course, the other adults were a little skeptical, but after they showed their abilities and revealed information about the village only available for ninjas trusted by the Hokage, they were finally convinced. Today was the parents' visit day, a day when the families of the students visit the academy to watch their children's classes and feature themselves to the other students and parents. For the first hours it was like an ordinary class day until half the classes were done. Then the student will feature their parents to the class and they will make an explanation about their jobs. After that, students and parents will have a mini festival with a lot competitions and games. The favorite ones were the mini tournaments made among the students of the same class. The days before, the students made the decorations and cleaned all the academy so it looked like the times when it was opened. As the families got into the building, they were greeted by the teachers and the Hokage himself. The noise of something landing violently against the floor announced the arrival of the Uzumakis. This must be Yondaime-sama and Naruto, thought Iruka. Naruto and Arashi got into the building. Naruto was dressed like always, his now famous orange jumpsuit. Same happened with his father, with the exception that Arashi now had his jacket completely closed. Sorry, girls, no more exhibition of the goods? Those women really scared you, Minato, thought the Hokage, smiling. The leader of the Leaf couldn't help but feel a little jealous of Minato. Since he came back, Naruto didn't come to visit him. He knew that he shouldn't feel like that. They were now regaining the lost time, but it still hurt. Naruto was the first one to greet. Good morning, Iruka-sensei. Good morning, old ma, I mean Hokage-sama, said. Good morning, Naruto, responded the Hokage. It looks like your father has been teaching you some manners. Yes, said Arashi, he will need them for the day he will wear your hat. Good morning, Hokage-sama. Good morning, Iruka-san. After Iruka and the Hokage greeted him, the Uzumakis headed to Naruto's class. Kushina was really happy for them. This time Naruto will have his father with him in a day when everyone is supposed to be happy. She reminded how alone Naruto felt the first time he came to one of these days. He skipped class the next ones. They got into Iruka's class. Most students and their families were already there. Arashi recognized the heads of the Naras, Akamikas, Yamanakas, Aburames, Inuzukas and the Hyugas who greeted him. He greeted back. MMMH, no wonder why Naruto's generation is considered the most promising in the future. The heirs of the most powerful clans are all in the same class. They, and Sakura, are only ones who will pass the true Genon test, thought. He noticed that Sasuke was not in class, but he didn't mind. What stranged him was that Hiyashi came there with many of the elders of his clan, including Lady Miho. She's the old woman who followed me the other day to the jewelry shop, thought Arashi. She must be Hisashi's aunt. Why the hell so many Hyugas came here? Well, they won't be disappointed with Hinata and Neji. Naruto took his seat with Hinata and Sai at his sides. According to Kushina, Sai is turning more social thanks to Naruto and his friends' influence. Perhaps I should reveal myself to Danzo. His spy network can compete with Jiraiya's. His thoughts were interrupted by some giggling. He noticed that some of the women were his former clients in the flying missions. He noticed also the stares of their husbands. Make do with your own husbands, sluts, roared Kushina. As a ghost, her appearance was defined by her emotional state. If people could see her like that, everyone would think that she was the Kyuubi in human form. The last students took their seats and Iruka and Mizuki got into class. The Kyuubi boy and his father came too. Good, I'll have my revenge showing Naruto's ignorance. That will show you, thought Mizuki, reminding Helga with shivers. The classes began. Obviously the students were really formal with their parents watching them. Shikamaru had to do a great effort for not sleeping in class or face his mother's wrath. During class, Iruka and Mizuki made occasional questions to the students. Most of Mizuki's questions were made to Naruto and he responded right all of them to everybody's surprise. Really, you think I didn't notice your intentions, bastard? Thought Arashi. I used the Kage Bunshine training method to make him memorize the pages of most academy books and some from our own library one by one. Thanks to your trickery, Naruto's situation among his classmates will get better. But it won't left you without my rightful revenge. Suddenly the door opened and Sasuke got into class. You are late, Sasuke, that's not yourself. Please take your seat, said Iruka. The Uchiha didn't say anything and took his seat. A ninja got in class next to him. Good morning, I'm sorry we're late. You see, I'm Sasuke's new tutor. In our way here we had to help an old lady carry her groceries and... Iruka recognized the newcomer as Hatake Kakashi, his unwillingly instructor. Kakashi recognized the teacher as the guy who attacked his precious books. You, said both of them, pointing at each other. You know each other? That's interesting, but now we are in class. You can chat after we finish, said Mizuki with his fake smile. The class continued with the occasional whispers among girls about Sasuke's new tutor. Shikamaru and Shino reminded their last talk with Minato. Flashback, are you sure about that? Questioned Shino. Putting Kakashi to train Sasuke can be disastrous if he later becomes our enemy. Minato nodded. I understand your worries, but the risk is worth of it. Sasuke in our timeline left the village because he thought that he would become stronger with Orochimaru. He left the village because power. The answer? Give him power. Kakashi is the best one for train him because their similarities. Shikamaru agreed with him. We also should make sure that Sasuke doesn't get the cursed seal from Orochimaru. If he doesn't taste it, the lesser chances of him deserting the village, said. Yes, it will be also a great chance to destroy Orochimaru. We can set a trap for him. But I hope not reaching that point. We should make sure that Orochimaru won't create the hidden sound village. But we will talk about it another time. We are talking about Kakashi and Sasuke. The most important part of Kakashi's task won't be give Sasuke the power. His main task will be make the bonds that Sasuke has with the village stronger and create new ones, make him a loyal ninja, said Minato. And flashback Mizuki continued questioning the students until he did it again on Naruto. I know that you were not in class when we explained this lesson. You were sabotaging the toilets that day, thought the evil instructor, reminding how he ended with his pants completely soaked. Naruto, please tell us all you know about blood limits, asked. You only probably know about yours, thought. To his displeasure, Naruto proved to know about blood limits, including what were the most important in Konoha and other villages. When did Naruto learn that? I know his father is helping him in his studies, but he shouldn't have had time for studying that much, thought Sakura. There are 3 types of blood limits: Jujutsus, eye-based blood limits like the Sharingan of the Uchiha or the Byakugan of the Hyugas. Physical ones, based on a power within the body, like the bone pulse of the Kages or the perfect healing of the Uzumakis. And finally chakra-based, where the user's chakra has a special power like mixing 2 elements for create a new one, like the Makuten of the Shodimes family or the Hyotan from Water Country, said the blonde boy. Everyone was impressed, but nothing compared when he began to draft info from the books of his home's library. The genes with the blood limits are highly dominant. The offspring of a person with a blood limit and a normal person will always results into a person with a blood limit, said Naruto. That's one of the reasons why we are so overprotective of the Byakugan and the relations of our members with people outside the clan. Any bastard would have our power, thought Lady Miho. Naruto continued, because the offspring of people with the same type of blood limits don't inherit any of them. The genes counter each other with the result of a normal person, said. It was that? So, that's the reason because all attempts to mix the Byakugan with the Sharingan failed, thought Sasuke. That fact was not discovered until years ago. The son of the Shotime Hokage married a woman with a now disappeared chakra blood limit with the hope to make their blood limits stronger, but their children, Tsunade and Nawiki, didn't inherit any of them. That countering doesn't happen on people with different type of blood limits, so their children inherit both of them, said Naruto. Now everyone was really impressed. That means that if Naruto and I have children, they'll have the Byakugan and the perfect healing, thought before taking an ultra-red tomato color for thinking about that things. Ha, ha. My son is smarter than yours, harpies, thought Kushina, mocking the other mothers. Naruto was finishing his speech. After the losing of the Makuten, the Hokage and the council decided to create a law that allows the last user of a blood limit to practice polygamy for preserve it, finished. In other part of Konoha, Tenzo, who was his free and bed day, sneezed. Are you alright, honey? Asked a beautiful woman called Akemi. You work too much, dear, said an identical woman called Aoki. I'm perfectly fine, somebody must be talking about me, said Tenzo, embracing both his twin wives. Meanwhile in the academy, Sasuke fangirls realized that Sasuke could benefit from that law. The Uchiha realized it too. I impressed everyone. The girls look really happy and Sasuke is staring at me, obviously with envy, thought the oblivious blonde. Now they will coordinate their efforts instead of hamper among themselves. Tobi, you'll pay for this, thought a very angry Sasuke. After the last explanation, Mizuki gave up on testing Naruto, so the blonde didn't receive any more questions. Finally the class part ended and came the moment where the parents introduced themselves to the class. The first one was Shikamaru's father. Good morning, I'm Narashikaku and I'm Shikamaru's father. I'm an A-class Jonin of the Leaf Village. My specialty are info gathering and espionage missions. Shikaku responded some questions from the students until Sai asked him who wore the pants in his house. Good morning, I'm Hyuga Hiyashi, Hinata's father and head of the Hyuga clan. I'm an A-plus class Jonin of the Leaf Village. I rule my clan and my clan helps to maintain the supremacy of Konoha. A bit pretentious, but unfortunately he is right, thought the ninjas. It is true that the Hyugas were expelled from their original village when the villagers found out that some of them used the Byakugan for spy in the hot springs? Asked Sai. That's a complete lie. That rumor was started by our enemies. You shouldn't believe all bad things you hear about somebody until you check them yourself. Exploded. He is right, you should know someone before judging him unfairly, said Arashi, glaring to other parents with a bit of killer intent, making them sweat. Parents kept introducing themselves, and suffering size questions. Arashi's turn came. Good morning, I'm Uzumaki Arashi, the father of a future Hokage Uzumaki Naruto. He released a bit of killer intent while drawing a kunai, ready to punish whoever who would try to laugh after his proclamation. Nobody dared. The rumors about how he treated those who disrespected his son traveled really fast and nobody wanted to know what he was able to do with a spoon and a mouse. I'm S-class Chuunin of the Leaf Village. My specialty are seals and high-level jutsus. This time it was Sasuke made the first question. How many S-class like you are in the village? Asked the last Uchiha. Since he heard that his brother was S-class, he wanted to know who in Konoha would be able to match him so he could ask them for tips for make him stronger. Now in the village there's nobody besides me being S-class, outside there are Jiraiya and Tsunade. The Hokage is S+ class, said Arashi. Whispers and murmurs came for Arashi's words, followed by the nods from the stronger ninjas confirming them. The truth is that Jiraiya is S+ and I'm SS class, you'll see it when the time comes, thought Arashi, smiling under his mask. That's obvious. Kushina Uzumaki wouldn't have dumped somebody like Yondaime for a weakling, even if he had a blood limit. We must proceed with the plan if we Hyugas want to keep our position as the strongest clan, thought Lady Miho. The introductions continued and finished. Everyone got out for the mini-festival. For that event the academy was open to all citizens, so there were also normal citizens without family there and ex-students who wanted to see the new generations. Naruto saw the Hokage among the people from the younger classes and headed to greet him. Suddenly a little boy appeared behind the old man and tried to stab him with a kunai. Naruto grabbed him by his scarf. What are you trying to do to the old man? Asked. Take off your hands from me. I'm going to defeat my grandpa so I'll be the new Hokage, said the brat. Hello Naruto, I see that you met my grandson Konohamaru. Konohamaru, this Naruto, the other boy who wants to take my place as Hokage, said. Naruto looked at the boy, later at the Hokage and finally at the boy. Yeah, I see a vague resemblance. Do you know why he tried to kill you? Asked Naruto. He thinks that he will be the next Hokage if he defeats me so people won't treat him differently for being my grandson, said the Sandaime. You heard what he said. I'm the Hokage's grandson. Release me, ordered Konohamaru. Naruto dropped the boy in an indelicate way. Ebisu saw the treatment Konohamaru received. In another world he would have repriended Naruto for not treating Konohamaru as the important person he was. But in another he wouldn't know that Naruto was the Yondaime's son and he wouldn't have to worry about the wrath of his father. Defeating the old man won't give you the Hokage title, it is not that easy. The path to Hokage is a very hard way without shortcuts, said Naruto seriously. You really matured, Naruto, thought the Hokage, you are not longer the prankster that vandalized the Hokage mountain. Naruto took a foxy grin, and besides, defeating the old man is very easy, let me show you, Harem no Jutsu, shouted. Naruto created 8 Demi clones who looked like beautiful and nude teenager girls. The Hokage, Ebisu and most of the adults around suffered from massive nosebleeds. Konohamaru was impressed by the power of the technique. See? Really easy, said Naruto before his father knocked him down and destroyed the clones. He didn't mature at all, thought the Hokage. Forgive my son's behavior, Hokage-sama. I didn't finish teaching him to behave properly with his elders, said Arashi bowing. He is forgiven, responded the Hokage while covering his nose holes. Arashi dragged Naruto where the other students of his class were. I never thought that the Hokage would fall for that stupid jutsu, thought Sasuke, who watched the scene. It only should work with perverts. I wonder if all adults turn into perverts. He saw Koharu and Homura talking with their grandchildren. Talking about perverts, thought Sasuke with a shiver. Meanwhile Iruka came with a box full of blunt kunais and shurikens. Okay, everyone. We will start with the first event. It's an agility show. Each student will be paired with an adult. The adult will throw the weapons to the students who will dodge them with skills taught in the academy, said. Naruto was paired to a civilian woman. Kushina recognized her as one of the pair who was relieved that Naruto failed the Junon for third time. Arashi was with the woman's child who Kushina also recognized. He was one who was glad of having Naruto in the same class because he wouldn't look so bad compared to him. The ghost lady made sure to pass this info to her husband. The exhibition started. Because his intensive training, Naruto had no problems dodging the weapons the woman threw at him. Other students weren't so lucky and soon they retired with bruises and bumps. Sasuke, being the genius he was, dodged everything with ease. He even managed to catch some of the kunais. Among Naruto's friends, Kuji was the one who had more problems dodging because his low agility, but he didn't complain and kept until the end. Shikamaru thought that it was too troublesome to tire himself with that exhibition and retired after some dodges. Instead of dodging, Shino simply blocked the weapons using his bugs as a shield in a similar manner that Gaara blocked attacks with his sand. But because his natural agility had no problems and dodged almost all weapons, Ino and Sakura made sure that one didn't dodge more than the other and managed to keep the same count. Hinata, with her flexibility and the boost to her confidence she got in the last days, finished the exhibition unscratched. Sai would have passed the exhibition unscratched, but he had to pass as an average student, so he let some of the weapons hit him. It was a pity that he was paired with a very resentful Shikaku who had no mercy. Meanwhile, Arashi carried out a little revenge against the unprepared kid. First he paralyzed him with a bit of killing intent, then he pinned him against the wall with shuriken. Now with the student fully immobilized, he took a blunt Fuuma shuriken from the box. He placed it on the box without nobody realizing, and here comes the coup de grace, he said in a sadistic tone, drawing the massive weapon. I give up, sobbed the kid, pissing off his pants. Arashi-san, there's no need to continue now that the boy has given up, said Iruka, interrupting Arashi's fun. Alright, said Arashi, dropping the weapon. The crying boy jumped to the arms of his embarrassed mother. That serves you right, witch, thought Kushina, sticking her tongue at the woman. What the hell is doing this Fuuma with the shurikens? Thought Iruka, estranged. He was interrupted when somebody covered his eyes from behind. Who I am? Asked Anko in a joyful tone. Anko-chan, you came. I was expecting to introduce you to my students. Let me see you, said Iruka. The sight before him made him lost his speech. Anko was wearing a very tight green kimono with floral motifs that resalted her curves. That kimono also had a very generous cleavage and let one of her legs exposed. Her hair was in a very elegant hairstyle. Why you? Look. Dazzling, babbled, trying to contain a nosebleed. He didn't notice some of his students approaching. Iruka-sensei, who's this lady? Asked Ino and Sakura. She is tried to respond. I'm Iruka's girlfriend, proclaimed Anko, happily grabbing his arm, making sure that everyone heard her proclamation. It was followed by whistles from the boys and owls from the girls, while the other men looked at him with envy. How the hell that idiot managed to get a woman like that? Thought Mizuki, not aware for the horrible fate that Arashi had for him. Then the white-haired Chuunin saw Arashi's revenge, the woman who became the matter of his nightmares in the last days. Helga. Mizuki-kun. I was looking forward to next encounter, said, running at him with her arms wide open. The teacher tried to escape, but Arashi made sure that this demi-clone should be strong and fast, so she managed to catch him. She embraced him, almost suffocating him. Everyone looked at them estranged. I thought he had a better taste, thought one of the teachers. I didn't know he left his girlfriend, thought Iruka. Lucky bastard, thought a man who liked that type of women. Mizuki. How could you have done this to me? Asked angrily a beautiful woman. Unfortunately, Mizuki was too busy trying to breathe for responding her. I see, you prefer her. Okay, we are finished, we won't meet again, said the woman, leaving the place. Kushina recognized the woman as Mizuki's girlfriend. Naruto met her when the traitor escaped from prison with his stupid brothers. She'll be alright, thought Kushina. After the prison break incident, she started dating Genma. This guy is crazy, thought the other men. Damn you, Arashi Uzumaki. When I get free of your gorilless, I'll plot my revenge, vowed Mizuki. Iruka directed the attention to himself. Now we will proceed with the obstacle course. The students must reach the finishing line in the less time possible. The traps are not lethal, of course, but I recommend you to advance with caution. The kids proceeded with the course. They were hidden pits, a stream of water with rocks for jump, some of them false, a passage with hanging obstacles, and even a part where the student was chased by an enormous rolling rock, made of papier-mâché. Of course, all who tried managed to complete the course with more or less success. To the other students' surprise, minus Shino, Shikamaru and Hinata, Naruto was the one who managed to do it in less time thanks to the intense physical training he had in the last weeks and the use of the tree climbing and water walking for elude most of the traps. People was not as surprised when Sasuke also used the tree walking for surpass many of the obstacles too, although he didn't learn the water walking technique. Kakashi already taught him the tree walking technique. I wonder how many things Sasuke learned during the last week with him, thought Arashi. Shino and Shikamaru should have been the first ones if they didn't have do the course without the techniques that they aren't supposed to know yet. Kiba and Sai had a score similar to the time travelers. Kuji surprised everyone using his new jutsu, the human boulder, for turn into a rolling ball that obliterated many of the obstacles. He had the fourth best score. Among girls, Hinata was the one with the best score because the tree climbing and water walking techniques were part of the standard Hyuga's training. Only Naruto and Sasuke surpassed her. Ino and Sakura had the 7th and 8th best scores. Arashi congratulated his son. "Well done, Naruto. I'm really proud of you. Everyone is impressed by the results of your training," said, ruffling his hair. "Yup, but where I want to make an impression is in the mini tournament. It's a pity I won't be able to fight Lee or Neji because they are in a different class. I only hope to have a match with Sasuke," said Naruto. "I bet you'll have your chance against him," said Arashi. "Now the only ones of your class able to defeat Sasuke or you are Shino, Shikamaru, and Sai. I still can believe that Sai is an Anbu sent to spy me. At least I know that eventually we will be close friends," said, smiling. "But what really surprised me are Shino and Shikamaru coming from the same time as you. There are lots of things I want to ask them, but they are reluctant to tell me. Believe me, you already know more than the necessary," said Arashi. Meanwhile, the Hokage asked for a moment of attention. "Ladies, gentlemen, students. I hope you are enjoying this event as much as me. Now let's proceed for the part you were waiting. Let's start the mini tournaments." That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.